It is a privilege to be with you this morning. I've known Steve for quite some time, and we've worked together in many ways, and this is the first time I've spoken in his ministry. And I know he's quite happy here. He made it clear to me that he has no intentions of leaving here. And so it's just a real privilege to be with you this morning. And I want to say that I noticed on the back of the bulletin that your mission is to recognize, call forth, and celebrate the divine. And I simply want to say that I experienced that with you this morning. That in your presence and in the way in which you interacted with me this morning, I felt that you are definitely on purpose. So thank you for that. It's already been a blessing to me to be here. So really quickly, the benefit of the doubt. It's a saying that I've heard any number of times in my life and never really gave it much thought whatsoever. And since being in unity and the whole idea of faith in unity, I developed this sense that doubt was a bad thing, and that doubt was something you wanted to avoid at all costs. It's faith, not doubt. What I have come recently, in the last year, to realize that doubt has its benefits. It does indeed have its benefits, and it has a wonderful purpose that it serves in this world and in life. So to help explain and illustrate that, I'm going to draw upon the story of the woman caught in adultery in the Gospel of John, the 8th chapter. And I know that might sound like a heavy story to share. And it's in an environment that is so full of love and light. Yet, to me, it powerfully demonstrates how awesomely free doubt can be. So, in the story, Jesus is out doing his thing, teaching and being present to people, and the scribes and Pharisees come to him with this woman that they have caught in the act of committing adultery. And I know we could go into just how did they catch them in the act of adultery. It sounds pretty intimate to me, but anyway, they managed to catch her in the act of adultery. They brought her to Jesus, and because they had this issue with Jesus, whatever their issues were, they were wanting to test him. They figured that because even in their law, the Mosaic law, a woman caught in adultery is stoned to death. They pretty much figured Jesus wouldn't be in favor of doing that, yet at the same time, to not do it would be in violation and condoning adultery. So they thought they could catch him. One way or the other, they were going to catch him in this situation. So they brought the woman to him, and they said, "Master, what do you say? What do you say we should do with this woman?" And as you know the story, he bends over, he starts, I just like to think of it as he just sort of mindlessly kind of scribbles in the dirt as that wisdom is percolating inside him. And then he turns to the scribes and Pharisees and says, "Now, you without sin, cast the first stone. You without sin, cast the first stone." Well, who's that going to be? Who without sin is going to be able to cast the first stone? Now, you have to give the scribes and Pharisees credit for at least owning the fact that they too have sinned in some manner, in some way. And it probably didn't hurt that there was probably other people around who, if they had forgotten, there were those around who would remember and would know that. But to me, this is an instance of doubt, because in this moment, these scribes and Pharisees are doubting their superiority to the woman caught in adultery. They are doubting the sense of they are more worthy than her of life. This moment is a moment of doubt in which their world and this black and white way in which they have been relating to people has now been challenged. It's now been challenged. And And the woman, she benefits from this doubt because her life is now spared. Because these men now, recognizing that they too have committed sins, they too have committed acts that were inappropriate, that were less than loving, less than the full, what the laws required. And so at this point, they put down their stones and they walk away. And so to me, this is a wonderful illustration of the power of doubt, where you doubt your position, you doubt your rightness, you doubt that enough to allow for the possibility of other people, of differences, of allowing for that humanness in all of us to be present. St. Francis of Assisi once said, "Can true humility and compassion exist in our words and eyes unless we too know we are capable of any act?" You know, to me, this is an instance in which the scribes and Pharisees also received a benefit, and that was an opening up and awakening of deeper compassion for others. Compassion, humility. But that's, to me, simply not enough. I mean, in my own life, I can have compassion at times for people. I can feel humble. Sometimes I feel like I'm too humble. There's more to this story. And which I find really exciting is what happens then between Jesus and the woman caught in adultery. When the men who had accused her had left, and Jesus turned to her and said, "Woman, has no one condemned you?" And she says, "Teacher, no one." And he says to her, "Neither do I condemn you." Now, it's so easy to just look at that statement and say, yeah, he's saying, I'm not going to condemn you either. But I looked at that of appreciating where Jesus is coming from. I mean, yes, he's compassionate. Yes, he has that innate humility. But there's more here. In his statement, there's more. When he says, "Neither do I condemn you," my sense of Jesus is that he was standing there and knowing the truth about this woman. He's not saying, yes, I have made mistakes too, but he's looking at her and he's seeing that which is your mission statement, the divine. He is seeing the divine in her. He is seeing the eternal truth in her. He is knowing without any, for him, no doubt, as to what is the nature of this person. What is the truth of this person? This woman caught in adultery. To me, this is another moment of doubt, because in this moment, in interacting with Jesus, the woman caught in adultery is now awakened to doubt. But this doubt is about what she's always believed about herself. This is a doubt where she is encouraged to question this image that she's always had of herself as unworthy, as not okay, as wrong, as less than, as hopeless. In that moment, she now doubts that image of herself.